Good day, doctor. We are from section 1, group 9. Now we will present about occupational safety and health, a case study in ACME ferrite products and Dram Berhad. Firstly, let me introduce our group member. Firstly, me, Chen Jiahong. Next is No Shafika, No Hayati, Leong Man Kyu, and also Ku Yihui.
Assalamualaikum and good day to Dr. Fikri. I'm Nur Shafika Aliara binti Mahmud Riyad with number matrix AP210273. He's the abstract of the project. This study focuses on OSH in high rise helps to prevent people from being injured or becoming ill due to the hazard or accident in their workplace. It includes the control of measure of each hazard and potential risk in the working area. The methods used in HIRAC are identifying hazards, risk assessment, risk control, and reviewing the implemented risk control.
Yeah, a very good morning to us. My name is Lemonti and I will explain the company background. The ACFE Ferric Products Sendiri Berhad is the pioneering producer of the nickel sting soft ferric products in Malaysia. The company is established in the year 1987 and it have the two manufacturing facilities where are located in the Ipoh, and it is complemented by a 300 strong team of the employees. And ACME has successfully established itself as the leading supplier of the EMI suppression very fast, the wideband transformer, and the filter code. Next, I will present the problem statement of the result. The problem statement of the study is the organization is unable and failed to identify the relevant hazard in the manufacturing company. It could lead to the facility of the hazard to the other employees in the workplace. According to the International Labour Organization, there are around 160 million cases of the work-related disease and 340 million occupation accidents worldwide, and the rate of the accident and the injuries in the workplace is increased year by year. Because that there is an estimation of the fatal occupation accident is reaching to over uh, 11,000 cases compared to the 5,850 case reported case. Moreover, it have reported that the 2.3 million people escaped the work-related accident or injury in the workstation and the ring. Next, for the objectives, the first objective is we want to try to understand the usage of the hierarchy form in doing the risk assessment analysis in the workplace. Second is we to study the occupation study and the health hazard at the workstation of ACME Sendiri Berhad. Next is we want to identify the consequences and the harmful effect of the hazard. And lastly is to determine the risk control measurement to address occupational safety and the health issue of the workplace.
In literature review, there have four elements. The first one is hazard identification. Then it can be identified by three methods. The first is storage practice. It is the way that the material are handled. Items may be fall due to the overstacking, incorrect stacking, or unstable storage. Second, the equipment usage, for example, by how forklift and conveyors are used. Accident may occur from inadequate training or poorly maintained equipment. Last, the ergonomic structure. It is by manual handling in the warehouse. Instead, the employees need to lift the object manually. Risk assessment. The structured performance of risk assessment guides the analyst to identify potential hazards, analyze their causes and the consequences of the risk. First, by define scope by identify the areas, procedure, and the activities that must be inspected in the warehouse. Then, identify the hazard assessed in the risk by determining the likelihood and the seriousness of every potential risk. More than that, develop the mitigation strategies, implement changes by applying the suggested method for the risk reduction into the practice. Last, monitoring and review the strategies to evaluate and assess apply control regularly for efficiency in the warehouse management. Then, risk control. Risk control was evaluated in order to determine whether any particular tools were being used to assist the risk control planning. First, by identifying the scope of hazard identification. Second, identify relevant literature to find source on what mitigating action. Third, categorize risk control measure. Fourth, evaluate effectiveness to assess each risk control. Fifth, analyze and control various risk control strategies. Sixth, provide recommendation for researchers in the field of hazard identification and the risk in the warehouse company. Last element in literature review is previous HARET study and the findings. HARET is often utilized in the building, medical, and industrial sectors, among others. Therefore, identifying the potential risks, evaluating those risks, and taking appropriate action to reduce or control those risks in order to assist firms set up efficient safety management system, HARET is essential. Thank you. That's all my part.
Next, I will explain the methodology in this research is a high-rate flow project. High-rate is the hazard identification, risk assessment, and risk control. It is the principle of designing and operating and administering an organization as a foundational aspect of the risk management. This has been endorsed as a proactive approach to risk and hazard management. It can allow the more precision to control and identify the hazard before that becomes the primary cause of the accident. One of the first steps is to classify the activities in the workplace. The organization should start to analyze and identify the information on the facilities, process, and of the organization. Next, the organization should identify the possible hazards in the workplace, such as the worker, the machine, the materials, the metals, and the media. Our next step is to determine the risk in the workplace. The risk assessment is essential to the organization because it gives a more effective way of managing the hazard. After that, the organization can decide to detect and propose whether the risk is curable or harmful to the organization. In the risk determination, the formula to measure the evaluate the risk is equal to severity times likelihood. The severity is mean the harmful to the health and the likelihood is mean the state of fact of something being likely. The the last two steps is the risk control action and plan. In this process, the hazard should be controlled at their source and the closest control is to the source of the hazard to become more better. And the last thing is to review the adequacy of the risk control. And next, I will explain the hazard identification, risk assessment, and the control form. And this method to evaluate the possible risk in the workplace. It have contains the three parts. First one is the hazard identification, and the next is the risk assessment and risk control, and the last one is risk control. Hazard identification is allow the organization can recognize the activity that are potential the hazard or can maybe trigger health and or cause the injury to an employee. The risk assessment is an evaluation to analyze the possibility of a hazard that occurs in the workplace and estimate how much the damage will be to the employees. For the last one is risk control and is the estimation the action taken to eliminate the risk to reduce all the exposure to the people. Lastly, for the to take the private data from the ACME Sendiri Berhad, the research instrument was used in this research is to interview. We can use the interview to collect the data from the company. Interview is a process of a conversation between the interviewer and the interviewer for gathering the data. And this is my part. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good day to Dr. Muhammad Fitri and everyone. My name is Mahayati binti Muhammad Jalani and my matrix number 8B2102447 and I will continue about the results and discussion. So, the first part is hazard identification. What is hazard? Hazard identification is like creating a list of anything that could potentially cause harm in a place like a workplace or during certain activities or situations. The goal is to find the hazard before they can cause any harm. Once you know what is the hazard or what is the danger, you can prevent or you can take a step for the accident to be happen. It's especially important in a place like factories, lab or construction sites where the risk might be greater. The workplace is a place where safety should be a top priority, but it is frequently jeopardized owing to a variety of neglected traits. This talk will show like 5 key of workplace activities that pose considerable risk with an emphasis on the nature of this hazard and their potential consequences. Okay, in the first picture, the activities is workers operating or accessing equipment at an elevated level. The hazard is fall from height, and the consequences is broken bones, commonly occur in falls, especially in arms, legs, or hips, cut and bruises. These are surface injuries but can be serious. And next, the second picture, we can see the workers are not wearing a proper shoes. It can cause a foot injuries because not wearing the proper footwear can have a serious repercussions including fracture, cuts, and possible amputations in cases of foot injuries for heavy machinery or items, collisions. The third picture is handling potential toxic material without wearing a glove. It can cause the skin contact or ingestion. The consequences is toxic substance can cause allergic response, burns, or irritation when they come into direct contact with skin. Or it's without washing their hand after touch the toxic can be inadvertently consumed. The fourth picture describes the individual standing on the structure to reach equipment without using a ladder. The hazard can be falls from the heights, and the consequences can be this can include minor injuries like sprain, fractures, and fractures bone, as well as more serious one like a spinal cord damage, which can result in paralyzed. And the last picture describing the worker is operating a work without wearing a safety helmet. It can cause the hazard head injury. This can consequences to traumatic brain injuries called contusions can occur when the head is struck by falling object or strict solid surface. That's all from my part. Thank you.
Now I will present about the analysis of the hierarchy part risk assessment. For the first activity, the current risk control of the company is safe work method procedure and also safety railing was installed but not fully covered. The likelihood is 3, severity is 4, and the scale of risk level is 12 and it categorized in medium risk. For activity 2, the current risk control of the company is safe work method procedure and also provide safety boost for all workers. The likelihood is 2 and the severity is 1 and the scale of risk level is 2 and is categorized in low risk. For third activity, the current risk control is safe work method procedure and also provided glove for every worker. The likelihood and also the severity is both is 2 and the skill is 4 and categorized in low risk. And for the fourth activity, current risk control of the company is safe work method procedure and also provided safety ladder but the worker did not use it. The likelihood is 4 and the severity is 3 and the scale of risk level is 12 and is categorized in medium risk. For the last activity, the current risk control of the company is provided the safety helmet for every worker that using the forklift. Both of the likelihood and severity is 2 and the scale of the risk level is 4 and it's categorized in low risk. Next is analysis of the hierarchy part risk assessment. Although the company already listed the safety work procedure for every work department, but the worker does not following it. For the activity 1, further action needed is install safety railing and the worker secure with safety belt or safety harness when worker doing work at high floor. The second activity, the supervisor must ensure every worker wearing proper shoe during works. For the third activity, the supervisor must ensure that all workers wear suitable PPE while handling powder material. Also can call it poisoner material. For the fourth activity, the supervisor must ensure that all workers use ladder with handrail that provided. For the last activity, the supervisor must ensure that all workers wear proper PPE when operating forklift. That's all for me. I will pass to my next presenter.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Hui Hui. Now I will present about the conclusions. This article explores occupational health hazard at SCME Fire Production Berhad through direct tools addressing related challenge. We categorize at SCME Fire Production Berhad as low, medium, and high level, and suggested measurement for conducting risk testing. Ongoing hazard identifications, risk assessment, and control are accurate. Regularly reviewing the effectiveness of those measures is necessary. Good morning, everyone. Now I will present about the recommendations. SCFE fire products Sdn Berhad should install safety gradients higher than the working area to prevent accidents and ensure the safety of workers. Second, equip all employees working at height with safety belt or safety sling. Third, make sure each worker wear appropriate footwear. Fourth, employees working with powder materials should wear appropriate personal protective equipment. Next is ladder with handrails should provided. Last is employee operating footlifts always wear appropriate personal protective equipment. SCME Fire Production Berhad should take the above measures to establish a safer working environment and ensure that the health and safety of employees are protected. That's all for me. Thank you.
That's all for our group. Safety first. Thank you.